Welcome back to a Book a Day podcast. And as you very well know, these days we are discussing the exotic text of the Kamasutra. And today we are going to get into the really exotic sections, which is the second section. It's called the sexual union. So far, we discussed how the citizens are supposed to be, how men and women, how they express themselves, what kind of hobbies they should have, how they can enjoy themselves, really. And now we'll move on to the more erotic sections and talk about sexual union. And in the first chapter of this section, they talk about different kinds of unions, how men and women they are going to have sexual unions, and what are the different ways in which they are going to have those unions. And it's really interesting because to some of you it may sound a bit funny because it really gets into the details of genitalia and how it's supposed to be, what is the compatibility like, and I hope you're going to have a good time listening to this. So let's start with that specific subject, that is a kinds of union, and we start with the dimensions, that is the dimensions of the genitalia of males as well as the females. And in males they have those three categories which are named as the hare man, H-A-R-E, hare, the rabbit, the hare man, second is the bull man, and third is the horseman. And you can understand it is based on the size of genitalia in the ascending order. They have classified into these three categories. First is the smallest one, hare man, second one the bull man, and the third horseman. And similarly, in terms of in case of women, they talk about the depth of their genitalia, and they have these three categories. One is the female deer, then the female horse or mare, you can call her, and then the third one is the female elephant. So again, in the ascending order of the depth: female deer, female horse, and female elephant. Now, interesting thing is what Kamasutra really talks about here. It talks about the compatibility. So in terms of dimensions, it says the smallest one of male with the smallest one of females, that category would go well together, and then the medium and the large one, they will also be compatible with each other. What it also tells us that bigger the difference in terms of their dimensions, the more challenging the union is going to be, which makes sense, right? So based on these three with the other three, male and female, three combinations, you get 9 combinations, and of them 3 are equal and 6 are unequal. As I said, small with small, medium with medium, large with large, that is the equal compatibility. Other ones are unequal, and unequal also have gradations. For example, the smallest of the men with the largest of women, that would be really a big incompatibility, rather than small with going with the medium. So that will be slightly smaller incompatibility. So that's primarily the discussion here in terms of dimension, right? And the second way in which they have categorized the unions, it's based on the force of passion or desire. And once again, they have categorized men and women in the same manner, that men, there will be men who will have small desire, then there will be men who will have middling desire, and then there will be those who have that intense desire. And same goes with women: small desire, middling desire, and then intense desire. So once again, the compatibility goes as the small desire with the small desire in women, that goes well, middling with the middling, and intense with intense. If they flow together, that's going to be nice. But of course, if there's a lot of difference, small goes with the intense desire, there's going to be incompatibility issue there. And that does not mean you should not do it, should not pursue it. But the point here is you should understand the challenges that might come, right? And then the third kind of categorization is based on timing, how long somebody is going to last. And once again, 3 categories for each. One is short timed, one is the moderate timed, and then the long timed. So slightly difference in terms of desire you can have, but the timing thing is all about how you perform, right? So in terms of performance also, the 3 categories have been decided, and based on them you can see the compatibility. So short timed with the short timed men with the short timed women, that'll be good compatibility. Then the moderate timed with the moderate timed women, and long timed men with long timed women, that once again would be nice compatibility. So one of the interesting observations that you can make here is it's not really about who is better, who's worse. It's not really about that at all. It's about you are in a certain way, and the other person is expected to be in a certain way. Then it goes well in terms of compatibility, because it's all about that. Eventually it's about compatibility. It's not about big or small. It's not about timing. It's about how compatible the two of you are, and that's something that you should explore. Then in this chapter there's a long discussion, and it's really intellectually curious discussion on how women and men, what are the difference in them, and are there any differences in terms of their gender or sexes, how they express love, how they have desire, how they perform, all those things. Is there a difference? And eventually the author Vatsyayana, he comes to the conclusion that there is not much difference. And this particular verse that really summarizes the idea, it says that men and women, being of the same nature, feel the same kind of pleasure, and therefore a man should marry such a woman as will love him ever afterwards. So once again, talking about compatibility and putting them on equal footing, and understanding both are equal, both have desires, and both should pursue them. And then finally in this chapter, the author talks about different kinds of love. And it says that there are 4 kinds of love. I will explain them. First, let me list them down. One is love acquired by continual habit. Second one is love resulting from the imagination. Third is love resulting from belief. And the fourth one is love resulting from the perception of external objects. Now, what do all these mean? The first one is love resulting from some kind of continual habit. So there are certain activities that you perform. For example, you enjoy drinking, playing, or going for hunting. Those are the activities that you don't really, may not have the excitement or desire right away, but over a period of time you perform them, you engage in them, and then you fall in love with them. And that's the kind of love, the first category they mention. It's about continual performance and habit. It just comes over a period of time and it grows. So once again, it's a love for sexual intercourse is something like this, that you perform and you keep falling in love with it. And the second category is love which comes from imagination. And it says that the idea of love doesn't always have to come from say, practice, even if you're imagining, you're thinking about it, it's pretty much creating the same image in your mind as it would be there. Your mind would respond if you were engaged in that activity. For example, if you are thinking about or imagining kissing or embracing, it's creating that beautiful feeling in your mind, and that imagination in itself is a wonderful feeling, and love is created and cultivated through that also. That's the second kind of love. The third one is love that comes from belief. This is more like the romantic love that we generally talk about, where there's a feeling of romance and love and affection from both sides. Both have belief that the other person loves you and is interested in you. So from that belief, shared belief, that love grows, and you probably see your future together because there is belief in that. So belief is a wonderful thing. You don't really know about what's going to happen. You just believe in it. You believe that it's nice, it's wonderful, and the other person loves you. You don't really know what's going on in their mind, but you still believe. So belief is the word here, and that's the kind of love they're talking about. And then the fourth kind of love, where they're talking about the eternal objects. There's something that just goes beyond the pleasures of this world, which is like love that exists only for its sake. There is nothing else. There is no other physical or just purely materialistic desires involved here. It's just love for its own sake. That's the kind of devotion, kind of love we are talking about here. And that's really the fourth kind of love. And all of them, they fall under the category of romantic or sexual love, but they are different kinds of love still. So that's what we learn in the chapter 1 of this second section. And we'll find out more about embrace, kissing, all these things in the next episode. So you'll have to stay here. You'll have to keep following, and more interesting contents from this wonderful book coming your way. So keep listening, and thank you very much once again for tuning in. I hope you'll keep following. Thank you.